we will be doing the color wheel in oils. This is quite a bit of an advanced color wheel with primary, secondary and tertiary colors. So I'm going to show you exactly how to mix the colors. The supply list that you'll need will be in the, you can just find it at the bottom here, just click and download it. So yes, let's get started. So you will see firstly, I draw 11 circles, which is 1 centimeter apart each. And then also the first circle I actually color in black, because when you're done with your color wheel, you will be coloring this in black. So first we're going to go with our primary colors. If you don't know primary colors, I will also quickly run you through it. It is yellow, it is red, and it is blue. So I chose a cold color wheel, which I will be using crimson, ultramarine, and then a medium yellow to do this color wheel. I'm going to start off with my red, which is crimson, and then yes, so please enjoy the video. I will be showing you step by step to do the first primary color, and then I will kind of do a time lapse until I'm done with the primary colors, and then we will continue with the secondary colors. So yes, enjoy. First, what we do is you push your red paint out. I'm using a tear off palette, which is quite convenient, as I find it really difficult to clean a palette that is not tear off. It kind of stains and it says schlep, so I really like this and I really do recommend this. You will use your palette knife to mix colors as well. Okay, so I numbered all my circles, as you can see in there. I will also be using some linseed oil. If you don't have linseed oil, this is actually olive oil. I ran out of it, and as we're in a pandemic, I can't find any linseed oil. Okay, and this is clean turpentine. So I will be dipping my brush in my linseed oil and kind of wiping it off on the paper towel, and then start off with my red. So this will be the plain crimson for number 1 marked on my canvas. So I'm using linseed oil to make sure that my paint is flowy enough. If you use too much linseed oil, your paint will be transparent, and that's also not something you want. So first I'm going to kind of outline that block, and then I will fill it right in. Okay, remember to use both sides of your brush, and also remember to always fill both sides of your brush whenever you are painting. This is something that really helps you to get into the habit of oils, and also teaches you how to use oils. Perfect, so that was my first one. Now I'm cleaning my brush slightly. Make sure it's completely dry before you start with your next color. Now how it works, I will be taking my palette knife and some white. So I'm going to take white there and some crimson there, and I'm going to mix it for a lighter shade. So we are now actually going to do different shades of crimson, and I'll show you how to do it. So you will see on my canvas there's a darker line. So line 6 is really darker than the rest. That's because I'll be using crimson, adding white, and the lightest shade you can get of that until that dark line. The rest I will be adding crimson and black, add white to that, white and white. So it's a lighter shade of crimson and black. Okay, so I will be doing this section completely. You can always also mix on the canvas. If you are advanced, you would really know how to do that. For now, I'm not really gonna mix on the canvas because not all my students are advanced, and this is one of our students' first oil exercises. Okay. If you see your paint doesn't flow, simply add some linseed oil to your brush as well. Just a slight little amount to help you spread it. Okay, and then try to keep it as neat as possible. This is just something you can refer back to whenever you want to, whenever you're stuck with colors and that. And this really teaches you how to mix colors properly. And some people can get very frustrated with this exercise. I on the other side find it very fun. Okay, great. If you go a bit over your third, like that line, don't stress too much. Just try to keep it as neat as possible. Now I'm going to take, well, actually, let me show you how to mix the colors on the canvas. I'm taking that exact same color and I'm taking some clean white on top. Be careful of too much. I actually hope this is too much so I can teach you what to do if it is. Okay, so I'm adding a bit of white to that. To again have a lighter shade. Be careful to not go too white too fast. Otherwise you're going to end up with just a very light color, which is also not bad. I mean, there's a million shades you can really get with your color wheel. And there's not really, you can't really have a wrong color in the primary section. I'm just cleaning off my brush, otherwise my brush is too loaded and I don't have much control over it. Then I'm dipping it in some linseed again and then taking some paint. Okay. See, that's not right, so obviously it needs to go lighter. I will be getting some more white, adding white on top of that and making sure it's a lighter shade than my previous color up there. And remember, because oils are so forgiving, meaning that it really stays wet for quite a bit of time, you can really change colors as you go along. So I'm going to leave it like that almost. Wait, let's rather add a bit of white. But if I did, I could always go back and see, you know what, I need to make that lighter and actually make it lighter. Okay, that seems a bit lighter. And I'm actually going to take some white on my brush first and hope that the color that's left on my brush actually makes us a very light shade. So remember to use white to make it lighter whenever you feel it is a bit too dark. And you can really use your own instincts and follow and see what you... I'm kind of happy with that. And how scary is it that that color actually got all those pink colors? That's actually lovely, and that's the nice thing about this exercise. Okay, so our upper part of the color wheel for the primary colors is actually done. And I'm just going to clean my palette knife on here. Be careful now later to not put your hand here and get dirty. Now I'm actually going to use some crimson. And not too much. You really need a minute amount of paint for this color wheel. And a little bit of black. You will see I pushed out way too much black on there. And I'm actually mixing that. I want to make sure that it's not just black, so I'm actually feeling that I want to add a bit of more crimson to that. Oh, it's a bit better. Okay, and that's more or less the color that I'm getting here. Remember, if you chose to do a cold color wheel or a hot color wheel, your colors will definitely differ. It really depends on the colors that you use as well. Now I'm just cleaning my brush off there again. And you're going to need to replace this paper towel quite often. Well, I do. You can also use a cloth, but the cloth sometimes is a bit more messy than you want it to be. I'm starting with 10. And at 10, it almost looks really just black. I'm filling that first block in there. It's very small. So I want to make sure that it's flowy enough. Great. Okay, you don't really want to see any white from the canvas coming through, so try to cover that up as good as possible. Now I'll be taking this exact same color. It really just looks black if you ask me on the canvas, which is not what it's supposed to look like. So I'm actually going to mix some more crimson into my black paint instead. It's a bit of a better shade, I'd say. So I'm just cleaning my brush off in my turpentine, wiping it there, and then I'm quickly grasping some, getting some more crimson there. Don't worry, I will be adding white to this as well. I'm actually going to use another brush for the white, just to keep my white as clean as possible. There we can see there's some crimson actually coming out of there the moment you kind of lift it up with some white. Great. Okay, now I'm doing another one. Remember, still using this color, just adding more white. So I'm actually teaching you rather to mix on the canvas instead of mixing, because it can take up a lot of your time. So even if you're not that advanced, please try to mix on the canvas. The only thing you can really do wrong is actually load your brush too full of paint. Okay, so I'm leaving the brush there, my darker brush, and I'm using my small brush again to add white to this. This is not the nicest brush, but it's working for now. Okay, so remember, you want to still go lighter until your dark line there now. See, we actually have a purplish color, and most of you would know that it's a secondary color. You mix red and blue to get purple. So now you can actually see there's more ways to mix purple than you initially thought. Okay, great. Leaving this one here. Getting some white on the other one. Remember, this must now be lighter than the one below. And this brush is a bit bushy, if I can say. Okay, I'm gonna actually add more white to that. Please excuse my background noises. As you know, we are actually recording at home at this stage. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. And some more. Oh, I could have actually just gotten it off here. Do you see how little you actually need of this mixed color? Do you see I can only just fill up half that and then come put some white in there and kind of blend it over. Okay, and this method you will repeat over and over. So I'm gonna now do the other two primary colors, and then we will start with the secondary colors, and then finally the tertiary. I actually see that is a bit too dark compared to the one below, so I'm adding more white to that. So please don't try to match your colors to mine. Remember, it really depends on the paint you used. If it's a U, if it's another brand of paints. This is really to teach you how to get the colors you desire with the paints you have. So please don't be scared if your paints don't match colors that mine made. Okay, great. So I'm gonna just stop there. Okay, so you can see the primary colors are done. I want to teach you about secondary colors now. So this is my primary color sheet. I'm actually going to put it aside because there's some of the blacks and stuff that I can still use. Don't waste any paint if you don't have to. Okay, no color can be mixed to get a primary color. Therefore, it's called a primary color. Secondary colors, however, are primary plus primary gives you secondary color. Then primary plus primary gives you a secondary color. Primary plus primary gives you a secondary color. So you'll be filling your secondary colors in on all the S sections. You will also follow the same steps. So you'll be mixing red and blue to get your purple. You'll be mixing blue and yellow to get your green. And then you'll be mixing yellow and red to get your orange. Perfect. So I'll be doing the secondary colors. And then lastly, I want to please explain the tertiary colors. So tertiary colors are primary plus a secondary color that you mix. So you'll mix the primary color plus a secondary color to get this color. You will mix the blue plus the secondary color, which was purple, to get this color. So it will be a blue purple and it will be a red purple in between. The same for this colors as well. You will be mixing a blue, which is your primary, plus a secondary color, which will be green with blue. So you'll mix those two to get a blue-green. You'll be mixing yellow and green to get a yellow-green. And the same for this side. You'll be mixing red with orange to get a red-orange. And then you'll mix yellow and orange to get a yellow-orange. So this, I'm not going to really explain it all again because it will make the video very long. You will apply the same rules. You will mix 50% red and 50% blue to get your secondary color. And then you'll use 50% red and 50% of your secondary color to get your tertiary color. And you'll apply the same rule by adding white to your first color, white to that color, white to that color, white to that color until you have your lighter shade of your first color there. Here you will be adding black to that color and then add white to that color, add white to that color until you get your lighter shade of that color mixed with black. So I just want to run through it quickly again. You will first do your primary colors like you saw here, your secondary colors, and then your tertiary colors. I will actually be doing a time lapse for a bit, and then yes, I will send you the end product as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to also watch our other videos on YouTube of some tips on oils. That is really helpful about a long stroke and the short strokes and all that stuff. So if you're really interested in oil, please click subscribe, and then yes, please enjoy our Art Schools videos.